Welcome to Storytellers, the podcast where we hear the tales and journeys of inspiring members and supporters of NSA Houston. I'm your host, Beth Nas, and here everyone has a unique story. So let's get nice and cozy as we spotlight our next storyteller. Welcome to NSA Houston Storytellers Podcast. Today we are thrilled to introduce Asli Remlinger, our new board secretary for NSA Houston. A 7-time entrepreneur, Asli has built successful businesses in education, fitness, and commercial real estate. She's passionate about empowering fellow entrepreneurs to achieve their goals, and the association as well. And beyond her professional achievements, Asli is a devoted mom of 3 boys and actively participates in her community. I want you guys to take a very, very, very quick moment to welcome Asli to the podcast. Hi, Asli.
Hi. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Beth. I really appreciate it.
Oh, so excited to actually spend some time with you and just, get to know each other because through our involvement in the association, we come and we go and we hug and get to network, but sometimes to really be able to learn about the other person is so good. And I love that I have the opportunity to be able to share that with our members and our viewers. So I'm going to jump right into it. I know that last year was one of the first experiences that you had with the National Speakers Association. What made you become a member and kind of get involved?
Well, I heard about it through one of my clients who I was helping through this arena of becoming a speaker. And I just researched all the different organizations she should join. And I came across NSA and it just really spoke to me. Like I told you previously, one of my biggest, I've been, I've always been asked to be, hey, could you speak on this? Could you do this? Could you talk about this? And I've always shied away from the stage and being the center point of whatever you want to call it, the meeting, the stage, the huge audience, the conference. I'm always like, here's 5 different names, ask them before me. And then last year, actually in 2024, 2023, my New Year's resolution goal was to step outside my comfort zone. And I made a whole list of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to improve myself. And one of them was, okay, you know what? It's enough that I'm asking other people to take on this ownership where I could be the expert and I could talk about so many different things that I know and I have this experience. So why not? And so with that courage, I joined NSA and I went to the first meeting and then I loved it. I just loved how small and cozy it was because that kind of speaks to me. And then I just loved how welcoming members were and how they seemed to know each other and support each other. And they all kind of, I remember like one member was talking to the other one, hey, I've got 4 leads for you. I'll give them to you after the seminar or whatever. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. People supporting each other. And then I met fellow members and I was like, this is really nice. Like it's not like I was scared it was going to be like, okay, here's a stage and we're going to take turns and you're it. And if it was like that, I was just going to go right back out the door. And but no, it was really welcoming and I felt very, very comfortable. And then each session I attended, I learned so many different things. And I thought speaker was about taking on the stage, but then as different experts started talking and discussing what they know or sharing their information, I just realized it's actually more than that. It's actually like, hey, there's a big how-to on how to put the keynote presentation together that is a science, if not an art. And there's a how-to document, which kind of spoke to me because I love 1, 2, 3 steps and how do you get from point A to point B. So it really was more of a learning opportunity as well. And that's really what I appreciate about NSA. It's such a small but comfortable place where people are free to be who they are in a non-judgmental zone. And it's just such a big learning community where everybody supports each other. So I'm just really proud of being a part of that. So
I love it.
that's it.
And I love the willingness to be vulnerable and go and do something that you haven't done and push yourself out of your boundaries and comfort zone. Getting on stage and even making a quick little announcement is intimidating because everyone's watching. And to be able to have that environment, like you said, where you could just be yourself, it definitely is welcoming. And, I know in your case, uh, and both of us, we're not professional keynote speakers. We're not, I'm not a professional coach. I'm, yeah, consultant, author, none of the above. I'm an entrepreneur and, I do things just as a result of personal growth. And I love that you said that. You said you went through a list of identifying where you felt was going to give you the most amount of impact for growth, and you chose the National Speakers Association. And so through that, maybe walk me through some of your background and history and what you've done to where you did find the National Speakers Association to be a good fit.
Oh gosh. Well, the NSA really empowers you to take concepts and really I don't know how to say it, but it's more like taking the concepts that are more applicable to you and other people and just generalize it in a way that it's very simple for others to understand. And I think with every single different seminar I go to, that's kind of been the key point. You don't walk into a quantum physics lecture and without simplifying it for the audience. And I think to me, that was the takeaway in every single one. So really in my personal and professional life, I think that was one of the first key takeaways was like, okay, well, these keynoters, like they have a story, but Mike Lejeune talked about how to have 10 different variations of the same story. And he talked to me personally about how he has a 45-minute version of the same story and he can say the same story in 30 seconds flat. And it's just like, oh, well, that was kind of well, how can I explain that concept to another person using the Mike Lejeune let's have a 30-second story version if that makes sense. And so these small ideas really add up to different applicable tips and tricks that you can use personally in your business, and definitely it makes you more efficient as a communicator. With the NSA, it also makes you realize that everybody has a story, and that is a profound um distinction that not many people have, because when you think of who is a keynoter, who is a trainer, who is a coach, you think these are people with like years of experience, maybe in their fields, or maybe different life experiences that makes them the expert at what they're talking about. But I was at a women's leadership conference not too long ago, and there was a group of stay-at-home moms who were in the audience, and they were just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so nice," but I'm really a nobody. Like I don't do anything, and they just kind of got to me, and I used the NSA version of like, "Well, no, like you also have a story, your background, who you are, whatever life circumstances brought you to where you are today. Like you don't need to have all these accreditations or all these degrees to be a keynote speaker or whatever it is that you wanted to do, in which case they wanted to build their business and stuff, but to have that confidence that, hey, anybody can get on stage and tell their version of the story, and it's okay because it's your story and it's very important, and there might be somebody in the audience that needs to hear that story as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I like that you mentioned that because if you really, really think about it, for us, the story brings the value.
Mm-hmm.
That experience brings the value. And so, because every perspective is different, every experience is different, you now come into an environment where you're gaining value as whatever profession you're seeking. Because again, you get that different perspective of experiences through storytelling. And so, what's your passion? What's driven you?
I would say my passion has always been helping other people. It's really I've always been a big believer in sharing your experience, your knowledge, your expertise with others and help them succeed. I mean, there's an old adage that says when you go up to the top of the mountain, you need to extend a hand to pull the other ones up with you, not push them down so that you can be taller. I truly believe in giving back. I truly believe in investing in other people and businesses, and there's nothing more than that brings me joy than helping other people achieve their goals, their dreams. And if I have a little bit to do with it, it just makes me happy and proud.
And you definitely get to have that opportunity in a leadership role this year as secretary for the National Speakers Association, it is definitely a new experience for you, pushing you out of your boundaries, kind of like me last year when they're like, welcome, you are now
Right.
director of marketing. And it's like, okay, I really have to do it and prove it and, show that I'm capable. And, again, your core values come into play of keeping your promises and your commitments and, what communication is one of my core values. And it was like an environment where, oh my gosh, we were all there for the same purpose, and so it fuels you to be able to know that you are in an environment of influence. And so, in life, when you go through your journey, where do you find your motivation and ability to be able to influence others by what you're passionate about?
I think the motivation comes from my family for sure, 100%. My dad is as crazy as I am when it comes to my business ventures. So in fact, in one of my businesses, he's my partner. And so I'm like, "Hey, we should do this." And he's already like, "Okay, let's do it. I've already got the how to, I've got the people lined up. Let's do it. What's your idea?" And then my husband's always the one that's kind of the realist. He's like, "Okay, but," so he brings me down to from cloud nine to reality somewhere. But I would say a third person that I get major motivation from is my middle son, Pierce. He has special needs, and he's just the happiest boy you will ever meet, Beth. And I think I sometimes I look at him and when you have these grand ideas or you have these like, I don't know, different things that are floating in your mind, you really look at him and you're like, what's really important? And he just brings you down to reality. And he's just the happiest person. He doesn't need anything anymore than quality time. It's really about the people, the connection. And it's my biggest motivator. So, and I'm all about in everything that I do, my businesses and stuff, it's about leaving him a legacy as well, so that I know that he will be taken care of for the rest of his life. So that's a big driver to me. It's like, hey, this business has to make so much money that Pierce can, he doesn't even have to think about anything. He'll be taken care of, whether it's his health needs, medical needs, educational needs, whether he can have a personal assistant around the clock. Like this is going to happen because of him. He's my biggest motivator in life for sure.
It's it definitely is a sense of motivation, and it's wonderful to be able to have a support system. And a lot of what I heard, and I want the viewers to hear, is it necessarily doesn't have to be, a direct network of professional colleagues that you're in the environment with to gain that support, which NSA does provide that, but also the people that are around you that help support you. I know
Yeah.
Romeo, when he graduated from Speakers Academy, he had his entire family up there to support him. And when you have that ecosystem that helps you be able to flourish in the things that you're
Yes.
passionate about and the risks that you're wanting to
Yes.
take, it makes it so much better.
And sometimes you have to have, it's kind of like the iceberg analogy. You see the tip of the iceberg just floating on the water, but what you don't see is miles underwater of holding up the iceberg. And that's kind of the infrastructure of a support system that you always have. And in business, that could also be your business mentors. I've got phenomenal business mentors that I call on for different various subjects. Or if you are in a great business partnership, it's that business partner that you can rely on to help you bounce ideas. And so a good support system, whether it's a personal one, like I explained, that drives you in the decisions that you make, in everything that you do, or if it's a business support system that you can call up on different mentors or different associates or different network connections, and that would help you propel you to the next level and goals as well. So it's really, I mean, you can't do things alone in life, and you need the people to help you get there. And sometimes it's just helping you understand the people that you can trust and people that you can rely on. And, in this speaker world, NSA has already established the people that are the experts that can help you in various facets of your life. If you want to be a trainer, we've got somebody for that. If you want to know how to write a great keynote, we've got somebody that can help you do that. If you just wanted to be a fantastic social media influencer who does reels on expertise on XYZ topic, we've got that person too. So at NSA, it's really, we have so many different people with different backgrounds that can help you. establish whatever your goals are.
It's so good. And I love the way that you explained it in terms of the support system that allows you to be able to be you and not have to feel like you have to be someone different. You know, your story is your story, and they just help you craft it in a way that is very focused in terms of what your message is and what that value is. And, and
Mhm.
so how it allows you to hone down your focus and allow you to be an expert in, where you've had the most amount of experience and where you can add the most amount of value. It's something that, the Speakers Academy, I know, is a tool that helps us do that. Whenever I first became involved, there were two key terms that like floated around everywhere. One was Speakers Academy and the other one was CSP. And we'll get to CSP in just a second because I want to pick your brains on that to see what you think about it. But Speakers Academy, I know that you did our research this year and kind of the updates. I think it would be great if you want to share them and just let everyone
Oh,
know.
goodness. Yes, we are so excited because this year we're actually collaborating with the NSA SoCal. They've put together this phenomenal program and it's twice a year. So it's a little bit different than last year because last year we only had one chance to join Speakers Academy. And if you joined NSA, let's say in November, you might have missed the deadline for Speakers Academy. But this one, you will have a chance to join Speakers Academy in January, and then you'll have another chance to join in fall. So we're bringing it to you twice a year, and the topics are just amazing. And, for everybody's convenience, it's going to be a hybrid model where it's all online, but then you also have a small group that will facilitate discussions and all that good stuff so that you can think of it as a study group. So definitely you'll get a chance to share and hone in on what you're learning and different topics. And this year, kind of like our NSA model, we're focusing on how to build on your speaking ambitions as a business. So it's going to be great. I'm really excited. And it's online. If anybody wants to join, it's on the NSA webpage. So you can join today if you'd like. And it's there for you. So I hope everybody goes to register and we'll see. I'm really expecting great things.
All personal development and professional development bunched into one big package. And I love that. Definitely great information. And yes, to get that information, get onto our website, nsahouston.org, and go on the Speakers Academy tab to find out more details and to register. And I'll tell you this, you hit the nail on the head when you said this year the focus is not only on professional speaking in your career, but also the entrepreneurial side of it. I know this year we have our workshops that we started that are on the entrepreneurial topics that relate to our programs that we have scheduled. And while Lillian has done an amazing job with that, thank you, while Lillian,
Absolutely.
shout out to you. But when you really think about it, that's kind of in line with the CSP. And that was that other term that I threw out earlier because you're like, wow, CSP, what is that designation? And it's a certified speaking professional. And from what I've heard, and I don't have the designation yet, but we've had many program speakers who have, and the feedback is that it not only is challenging, it pushes you out of your boundaries to be able to accomplish it, but it also paves the way for you to be able to successfully run your business as an entrepreneur in the speaking, coaching, consulting, authoring, you know, uh, industries. And so, what are your thoughts about CSP designation?
Oh my goodness. And within the Houston NSA, we do have so many designated amazing speakers that already have their CSP designation. I mean, definitely speakers like Denise Hamilton and Crystal Washington come to mind right off the bat. And these are fantastic, amazing mentors that are available to all our members. Um, I would consider myself like just an emerging speaker, because I do trainings and consultings and coachings, but I don't speak as a keynote professionally and get paid for it. I've done it for free. But definitely the CSP program is something that maybe in my 2 years time frame, it could be something that I aspire to. And definitely within the NSA, I'm learning that we have so many different interest groups in mind. And I think Megan has a program that she's trying to put together where the CSP designation is even easier to achieve with the mentorship programming that we're about to roll out. I think that would be something that could truly be beneficial to all our members, including myself, where we do kind of, if that's our career track that you have in mind, if that's an aspiration, if that's a goal for you, then there is somebody that can help you with that as well. So yes, not for me at the moment, but I'm definitely learning and keeping my ears open and taking notes, Beth.
Me too. I am taking a lot of notes, and it gives me the ability to put together goals and make a plan of what's my trajectory and where do I want to be in this industry in but next year, 3 years, 5 years. And I think in life, you just have to do that across the board with everything that you want to achieve is set it in small little increments to be able to get to that big win. Because
Yeah.
going to that big win initially is very, very daunting and overwhelming. But like you said, you start with your very first paid opportunity and then it expands. And so now there's that. And then you start record keeping and making sure that you track it. And how do you improve your sales? How do you improve your marketing? And
Right.
so it seems like even Speakers Academy can be, like you said, the building blocks, the foundation to help you get into that mindset of achieving your CSP designation. And, it started making me think about mindset ultimately. It's
Yeah.
kind of like where do you set your mind to how you overcome the obstacles, the challenges, but also take advantage of the opportunities
Yes.
and embrace those moments where you're like, okay, this is something that is going to help me. And I was even just thinking, like my mind just started going off when you were talking. It doesn't necessarily just even have to be for people that are looking to get into the profession. It was a platform for anyone who has to
Yes.
be in front of a group of individuals to refine their techniques and refine their confidence and let them be okay with, having that experience of vulnerability and then ultimately gaining that confidence and learning from it. So I love the ability for NSA to give such a broad opportunity to its membership.
And here's where I want to do a plug. We only have our general sessions for a couple hours once a month on Fridays. So if it's important to you to make yourself a better communicator, because it's not just for speakers, it's for anyone, like Megan said, who earns a living with the spoken word. And it's only one Friday a month. And I think if that's important to you, we can all make time to be there. Or we have webinars, we have podcasts online, which doesn't take any time. I mean, if anybody's like me, you carpool with your kids, shuffling them from activities to this and that. You've got time when you're sitting in Houston traffic to listen to the webinars, to listen to the podcasts. Just because you missed one does not mean that you're off the track. The next one will definitely be a completely different topic. It will build up on what you can do, but it will be a different topic for you where you can just come right back and you don't miss a beat. It's still available and it's still informative and it's still beneficial for you personally and for your business for sure. So I would encourage when we're talking about all this, it's one Friday a month. We can do it, people. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Well, and the cool part about it is like you said, we're becoming hybrid, and so they can grab it virtually live as it's happening, or there's always the Vault. And as a member, you have access to the Vault where
That's
you can go
right.
and see there's programs in there from years past. I mean, it is just idea bank of just experiences in there. And I want the listeners and the viewers to just get this point because this was really, really important is being involved. Getting involved and just getting in there to the point where you are in it and there is opportunities in all areas of the association, whether it's programs, it's membership, it's marketing, for you to volunteer and get involved. And even if it's just a small little part, you can play a big role in making NSA amazing. And so, thank you for joining us on this episode of NSA Houston Storyteller, Asla. I appreciate
Thank
hearing your
you.
journey. I love how passionate you are, not only as an entrepreneur and the commitment that you have to mentorship and bringing value to others, but really your dedication to your community, your family, and even you yourself as an individual, and just wanting to continuously grow and thrive and learn and putting yourself in a vulnerable position to where, hey, you're out of your boundaries, you're out of your comfort zone, but you're going to become a better person as a result of it. So we hope that you found Asla's insights in our conversation today insightful. Don't forget to connect on more stories from inspirational leaders. Thanks so much, and thanks again,
Thank you,
Asla.
Beth. We'll see you at the meeting, everybody. Bye.
Bye.